Hey everyone, it's Argonath here from Return of the Fan, and I came across this article on the Hollywood Reporter about George Clooney's comments about the Rust tragedy, and he made some comments about how Brandon Lee died, so I thought it would be quite an interesting article to go over. So George Clooney shares his on-set gun safety practices in the wake of the Rust tragedy. So George Clooney is speaking out about gun safety on the set following the 21 fatal shooting, which we all kind of know about. Clooney reflected on his time working on sets and the tragedies that happened to friends John Eric Hexam, who fatally shot himself in the 80s on the set of CBS's Cover-Up with a pistol loaded with blanks, and Brandon Lee, who was accidentally shot and killed on the 90s set of The Crow by another actor who fired an improperly prepared revolver. That was a series of stupid things. My cousin Miguel, who was going to be his best man the next week at their wedding, said the actor when discussing his close relationship with Lee. Brandon and I played ball, hung out at the Hollywood Y 3 days a week. We were buddies, you know. This was his big break. When speaking further of Lee, Clooney broke down the mistakes that led to the fatal shooting. So this is Brandon Lee's shooting. The first unit, low budget probably, I don't even remember if the guy was even a union prop guy, sent it down to a second unit, a different group of shooting, and they wanted to use the same gun, so they sent the gun down there. It was the guy's girlfriend that was the prop assistant. Oh god, yeah, that sounds a bit dodgy already. They didn't have dummy bullets, so they made them by, oh my god, seriously? They didn't have dummy bullets, so they made them by taking the gunpowder out and putting the bullet back in. She takes the bullets out of the cylinder, and one of the shells, one of the bullets had lodged in the barrel of the gun. Oh dear. Clooney said that after the gun was sent back to the first unit, no one checks the barrel. No one notices that one of the 6 shells, one of them is missing the bullet, and hands it to the first unit. They put the full load in it. The actor, which you never do with a full load, points it directly at Brandon and pulls the trigger, and it's like getting shot with a normal bullet, and killed him. Clooney said that because of what happened to Lee, he continues to abide by safety protocols whenever given a prop gun. Every single time I'm handed a gun on the set, I open it, I show it to the person I'm pointing it to, I show it to the crew. Every single take, you hand it back to the armourer when you're done, and you do it again, he said, and that sounds like what you would want to do, right? And I just think the guidelines and the rules are there. There hasn't been a shooting since the Brandon Lee one, which actually killed someone, but it sounds like that on the set of Rust they just didn't follow the guidelines and rules very well, so that's where everything came unstuck. On the set of Rust, Baldwin fired the prop gun that fatally shot Hutchins and wounded D'Souza. Clooney says he doesn't know Baldwin personally, added, I've been on the set for 40 years and the person that hands you the gun, the person that is responsible for the gun, is either the prop person or the armourer, period. So Gutierrez Reed was the armourer, right? She has to take some of the responsibility for this, as well as the producers for not following, making sure that everything is following the safety guidelines and so on. Rust Firearms Specialist identifies armourer Hannah Gutierrez Reed has said through her attorneys that she didn't know where the live rounds came from, and that a number of factors made the set unsafe. A recent report from the Hollywood Reporter highlighted how Rust featured a hodgepodge group of producers with little to no experience. Baldwin was one of the film's 6 producers. If Reed thought that the set was unsafe, then she should have brought that up with the production team. And if she did and they still didn't listen to her, she should have resigned, right? That would have sent a proper message to these people. She should have resigned, because that's what her job should be. And if people are not following the safety rules, then she should have resigned. It's basically what it comes down to. Why, for the life of me, this low-budget film with producers who haven't produced anything wouldn't have hired for the armourer someone with experience? Yep, so Pasha, she was very inexperienced, being the head armourer. Clooney said, calling unverified reports of staff on set using the prop guns for target practice insane and infuriating if true. We need to be better at making sure the heads of our department are experienced and know what they are doing. Authorities have said that Rust Assistant Director David Halls handed the weapon to Baldwin and announced cold gun, indicating that the weapon was safe to use. Clooney called that a term he's never heard. Clooney added that he doesn't believe there's any intent by anybody to do anything wrong, and of course no one intended to shoot or kill this person. It was just sheer negligence on the part of the armourer and also the producers. So it just sounds like they weren't following the rules correctly. So someone has to be held accountable for this. We can't let this go. Someone must be found accountable, because otherwise it will just happen again if we don't send a strong message to these people in Hollywood. Anyway, let me know what you think about George Clooney's comments. I think what he said is very reasonable, and it sounds like that any of his movies he always follows the rules to the T. Love to hear your comments. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, you're welcome to give it a thumbs down. And if you like my content, please subscribe, as it just means that my content will be noticed by the YouTube algorithm a bit easier. Anyway, hopefully I will catch you in the next video.